Hey there friends, thanks for checking in. A popular discussion taking place now across the country is whether it's a good or bad idea to arm school personnel. Many are sharing their thoughts, their ideas, and their experiences on this topic. We are even watching state governments debate back and forth about arming school personnel. But here we have in Seaside High School in California a justice teacher who's been teaching for over 10 years. He is also a reserve police officer, have a negligent discharge with a firearm during class. Now, anybody who is on the fence about this topic of arming teachers, after reading this story, would tend to go against it because they are saying, I told you this was dangerous. This guy was a gun expert, and it even happened to him. What's it going to look like when people who are not experts are carrying guns around our children? In my opinion, this was a cheap attempt to drive the conversation away. I'm not buying it. I don't think it passes the smell test. All right, this guy took a loaded gun, pointed it up into the ceiling, most likely talking about the function of the handgun, puts his finger on the trigger, pulls the trigger, and negligently discharges a round into the ceiling. Now, let's just say I'm wrong. Let's say this wasn't a cheap and calculated attempt to drive the conversation against arming school personnel. It is possible, believe it or not, that I could be wrong. This guy broke every single gun safety rule there is. He did not check to see whether the gun was loaded or unloaded, so he did not treat the firearm as it was loaded. He put his finger on the trigger and pulled the trigger, okay, very dangerous. He did not know his target and what's beyond it, and he did not practice very good muzzle discipline. He was, pointed it at things that he was not willing to destroy. He violated each and every one of those. So he is not a good example as to what it would look like arming school personnel. Actually, he's a very poor example. He's a very poor example as a reserve police officer, and he is not a firearm expert. But they are using this situation as an example as to how dangerous it could be. I think the whole situation is rather cheap, and this guy, who is being labeled a gun expert, is actually a gun failure with the way he behaved, if this situation was actually true to begin with. If you like videos like this, please subscribe and share. I always appreciate the thumbs up button. Thanks for watching, and you guys be safe.